On April the 27th, our life was changed by the tornadoes in Bradley County.
And we live off of Dalton Pike on Wilhoit Drive. Our house was affected by the tornado on April 27th, 2011.
My name is Lasagna Ingram. My husband and our 4 kids used to live on 765 Bell Road, and our home was completely destroyed by the tornado.
Me and Tommy we were living in Polk County at the time, but we attend Salvation Army Corps. We also volunteer down in Cleveland, and I had called Sergeant Forgy to ask her if she needed our help, and she said yes, that we could go out and do some disaster relief and things like that. So at the time, we had been out all evening during some of the storms, and we were actually in one of the really bad storms that happened down on Villa Heights.
The electricity had gone out about 3 hours before the tornado actually hit. And so we were just hanging out together in the bedroom, laying down, talking about stuff, and then Lee heard the sound, and I heard it.
The night that the tornado hit, we just all got done eating supper, and we got in my mom's room between her bed and the wall.
He's like, get in the bathroom now! So we all got in the bathroom, and you know it's bad when the house starts shaking. You know it's really bad when you hear softballs being thrown at the house, and that was what the hail sounded like.
Everybody's power was out, and then we got to my sister-in-law's house, and her power was out, and we were going to leave, but we were already there, so I was like, might as well just stay.
You know, your children screaming bloody murder absolutely was the most terrifying part of it all.
When we were getting out of the van,
that was spiky.
The hail, it hurt, right? Remember
You
that?
got 6 a.m.
It was hailing when we got out of the van to go run it up to the apartment.
Tornado came through, it just ripped the house out from underneath us, and the last thing I remember is screaming for Mom, getting a mouthful of dirt.
And it was over about 45 seconds after it had started, and we came, out immediately. They were scared to death.
That night was pretty hectic. After the trailer tearing apart and everything, we found ourselves actually behind where the trailer would have been in my uncle's field. It was dark, couldn't see much. After the trailer just came apart and we found ourselves in my uncle's field, I was 3.5 months pregnant at the time, and I broke my back and my arm. I was intertwined really in a tree that had broke on our property.
When morning next came and half of their house was gone.
Of Mimi's house?
Yeah. One thing was fell on the ground.
Were hurt, and that Lisa, Tommy's ex-wife, was in really bad shape, and he said that Heather her arm was broke and didn't know what else, and that Sarah couldn't move, and so immediately we started to leave, and the lady Roxanne, it was her home we were at, she just said, no, we're not leaving until we prayed. And I said, I agree. So we all stood in a circle and prayed, because there was no way we could get down there. The ambulance drivers had already told us no way. EMT workers said, no, we can't come. And of course, Tommy wanted to, first thing, it's his babies, he was ready to go. So me and Sergeant Forty drove back to the Corps, and we all gathered in the Corps and prayed. And then we finally got the phone call that they had got to him and that we could go up to the hospital to be moved.
Whenever the storm came, the wind, it was dead silence, like there was no wind. And then there was something that came crashing through the windows, and my stepfather yelled, "Hey guys, get into the bathroom, it's here." I mean, my mom didn't respond at all. Neither did my little brother, because I think they were asleep. I ran into the bedroom, and I told them to get up, and so finally I ran out of the bedroom and into the bathroom.
My mom was also injured by the same tree, but she passed away. It landed on top of her, and like I said, it just wrapped between my legs and up my back.
And we found out that Lisa was killed in the tornado, and that was the next step we had to deal with. And the girls were hurt pretty bad, but we made it. We're here today.
I was screaming and I was thinking, scared. And I jumped in a bathtub. Installation came down, falling on my head.
Of course, we didn't know the devastation that was there where they used to live. I mean, I didn't see it till days later when I got to go down, and it looked like a war zone. There was nothing left. And it's just by the grace of God that the girls made it. But we went to the hospital, and it was really, there was more people there too. I mean, the hospital was, I bet you there's 1,000 people in that waiting room, and to look around on their face, it was just like there was no hope. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah.
The next morning we got up, and we got up really early. It was like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. We got up, and we were not excited, but we wanted to hurry up and go see what happened. And we got there. I thought that our trailer was the one that was flipped over on its side, and I told my husband, "Do you want to try and go in?" And he said, "Go in what?" And that's when he showed me our trailer was, the frame was in a tree, and the rest of it was just, it was scattered everywhere.
While victims try and grasp what has just happened to them, volunteers start to pour into our facility on the other side of town. Over 200 volunteers met with us those first few days, helping us pack lunches, make food, make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and make food boxes to be able to deliver to the victims all across our county.
I don't think we slept at all that night. The next day, as sunlight approached, when we all walked outside and realized that we really were in the middle of a horrific mess. We had almost 200 trees over here, a chicken coop, and there is absolutely not one whole tree left.
Whenever I came outside the next day, I couldn't get past the front porch steps. It was so messy. And we were missing a building, like 13 sheds. It was a horrible mess, and I'll never forget it.
Within hours of the first tornado touching down, our mobile kitchens were in action, providing meals, water, and prayer to those in need in the different communities that were affected.
We just didn't really know. There was nothing. We got a couple like stuffed animals from the kid that they slept with, and then that was it. We were picking through stuff, and this guy came up from the Salvation Army, and he had a box of, it was a white box and had bread and peanut butter and jelly and chips in it, and the boys were eating the chips, and they gave us water, and he told us where we could go and numbers we could call. He gave us a list. I think it was in the box, a list of different numbers where we could go and who could help us with what.
A few days later, there was this Salvation Army thing set up down the hill, and I was down there helping other people who got hit worse, and so I was asking through the line, see if they needed water or anything.
Like, everything in this kitchen basically is from the Salvation Army. I have baby food. I had like 14 cans of formula saved up. This formula was really expensive, and it was all gone. But Salvation Army replenished my baby cabinet. Some of the dishes we have. I got a brand new set of these cornmeal dishes are from the Salvation Army, and some of this Tupperware is from the Salvation Army. The boys love going to the warehouse because the ladies there let them pick toys, and all their toys were destroyed, so they go crazy picking toys.
My mom had just did my room for me in like zebra, like she just decked it out in zebra for my birthday. And we had mentioned to somebody at the Salvation Army that my room was done in zebra, and like a couple of days later, we got the bedspread, we got curtains, they gave me little pillows and all kinds of stuff. They help us get a dresser and just different things like that. They pretty much help us furnish the whole house. So they've been a big help.
The Salvation Army has helped our family a great deal. Not only do they come to our rescue with food and cleanup supplies almost immediately after the tornado hit, they have given us help for gas on the generators so that we could run the refrigerator off of electricity so the boys would have food to eat. After the Salvation Army had left, we had help with clothing that got destroyed during the tornado. Any kind of help that we needed, any kind of support, the Salvation Army was there for us. They listened, they gave out hugs, they gave out help.
Well, you know that at the time that all this happened, there was a lot of destruction, and a lot of people have just gave up hope. But through God, there is hope, and I would just like to say that my whole life changed that day, and through the help of Salvation Army. I mean, we started out with, they lost everything, and of course our lives changed because we have a 15-year-old now that we're going to raise, and so we moved to Bradley County so she could still continue to go to the school that she went to, and Salvation Army just picked up. I mean, when I said that we had to move, the next thing I know, I was in an apartment that was picked out, and they came in, they helped, they've food, clothing, you name it, they've been there. Even counseling and praying for us, calling every day, asking what we need. I mean, they have just really stepped up and went above and beyond the call, because now I was out volunteering and now I'm on the other end, and that's been a big difference for us. But there is hope, and that's just what we have to stand on, is that faith and hope every day that it's going to be okay, and it is okay. The girls are doing better, everything's looking up.
With the help of nearly 3,000 volunteers to date, the Salvation Army of Cleveland has been able to be a shield to those in need in our community. Over 14,000 meals have been prepared and delivered, over 2,400 food boxes, 35,000 bottles of water, thousands of articles of clothing, household goods, furniture, toiletries, and more have been given to over 2,000 victims through our distribution center. All of this was made possible by the generosity of donors and volunteers who simply wanted to do their part and be a shield with the Salvation Army. This effort is far from over. To continue to meet so many needs, we need you. Perhaps you can volunteer in one of our facilities. Maybe you can offer financial assistance. Maybe all you can do to help is pray. We need all of those things. To learn how to volunteer or donate, you can visit www.facebook.com/TSA Cleveland. You can also text to give. Simply text the word Cleveland to the phone number 85944, and a $10 donation will be added to your phone bill. You can also subscribe to our text message updates about volunteer opportunities by texting the word CLE HELP to 27138.
It's a cold